Messi hacia el presidente de Estados Unidos, Donald Trump. Bueno, pues vemos al secretario de Estado, Marco Rubio, en estos momentos ya saludando al resto de miembros de la administración Donald Trump, también a Scott Bessent, y en un momento en el que, bueno, durante el día de hoy estábamos conociendo precisamente cómo hoy ya acaban de tomar la decisión los demócratas del Senado de bloquear el proyecto de ley de financiación del Departamento de Seguridad Nacional, ese prolongado el cierre de la agencia, su cuarta semana. El Senado ha votado 51-45 sobre la medida para financiar el Departamento de Seguridad Nacional durante el resto del año fiscal 2026, sin alcanzar los 60 votos necesarios para su aprobación. Todos los demócratas votaron en contra, excepto el senador John Fetterman. La votación se produjo justo poco después de que el presidente de Estados Unidos, Donald Trump, anunciara en un mensaje en Truth Social que reemplazaría a la secretaria de este mismo departamento, del Departamento de Seguridad Nacional, a Kristi Noem, por el senador Markwayne Mullin. Pues estamos a punto de ver al presidente de Estados Unidos, Donald Trump, cómo llega ya a esta sala donde ya se están, ya acaban de llegar justo también Marco Rubio, el secretario de Estado, Scott Bessent, el secretario del Tesoro de Estados Unidos, y que ahora parece que todas las miradas están puestas a la llegada de Trump, que recibe al campeón de la Major League Soccer, del Inter de Miami. Bueno, pues vamos a estar muy pendientes a esta señal que están viendo en directo desde Washington, pendientes a la llegada de Donald Trump. Antes, pues la escalada de tensión aumenta en Oriente Medio, pero también en el marco de la inteligencia artificial. Hoy conocíamos cómo el gobierno de Estados Unidos ha dejado de utilizar ya definitivamente Anthropic. Trump acusa a la compañía de ser un riesgo para la seguridad nacional. Nueva tensión en esta carrera global por la IA, y en el que, pues Donald Trump ya ha dado un paso más allá. Ha asegurado que ha decidido romper relaciones con la empresa de inteligencia artificial Anthropic después de que la compañía se negara a dar el ejército estadounidense acceso total a su tecnología. Trump afirmó que la empresa está ahora en problemas después de esta decisión y confirmó que el gobierno ha ordenado dejar de utilizar inmediatamente su tecnología. Además, el Departamento de Defensa ha llegado a calificar a Anthropic como un posible riesgo para la seguridad nacional y la cadena de suministro. Ante esta situación, el consejero delegado de la compañía, Darío Amodei, habría iniciado conversaciones con el Pentágono para intentar alcanzar un acuerdo y evitar que la ruptura entre la empresa y el gobierno estadounidense vayan más allá. Y volviendo a Estados Unidos, el Departamento del Senado bloquea ya el proyecto de ley de financiación del Departamento de Seguridad Nacional, justo en un momento en el que veíamos en el día de hoy ese mensaje del presidente de Estados Unidos, Donald Trump, anunciando que va a reemplazar a la secretaria del DHS, a Kristi Noem, por el senador Markwayne Mullin. Bueno, pues los demócratas del Senado ya han bloqueado ese proyecto de ley respaldado por los republicanos para financiar el Departamento de Seguridad Nacional, prolongado el cierre de la agencia a su cuarta semana. El Senado ha votado 51-45 sobre la medida para financiar el DHS durante el resto del año fiscal 2026, sin alcanzar esos votos necesarios, 60 votos necesarios en concreto, que se han quedado en el aire. 51 han sido sobre de esos 60, todos los demócratas han votado en contra, excepto el senador John Fetterman. Justo en un momento después de que el presidente Donald Trump anunciara en este mensaje que van a ver a continuación, que reemplazaría a la secretaria del DHS, a Kristi Noem, por el senador Markwayne Mullin. Y en un momento en el que también las miradas están puestas en España y en la relación que mantiene con el presidente de Estados Unidos, Donald Trump. Ya saben que estos días atrás hemos estado viendo ese tira y afloja entre Donald Trump y Pedro Sánchez y ese intento de bloqueo por parte de Sánchez a no utilizar las bases de Rota y Morón, a no dejarlas a Estados Unidos, pero que a Estados Unidos no le ha importado mucho, las utilizaba, de hecho, durante el día de ayer la base de Rota. Bueno, pues la pregunta que suena ahora es si puede Donald Trump imponer ese embargo a España. Los posibles escenarios y las consecuencias que tendría esta medida son las siguientes. Aunque esta tensión siga creciendo entre Estados Unidos y España, sigue escalando después de que el presidente Donald Trump amenazara con cortar el comercio e incluso imponer un embargo a España. Embargo de Estados Unidos a España, ¿se podría llevar a cabo? Bueno, pues estas son las preguntas que resuenan durante estos últimos días y que lo que dice la ley y las consecuencias que podría tener esta decisión del gobierno español de no permitir que Estados Unidos utilice las bases militares de Rota y Morón son algunas de las consecuencias las que ha dicho Donald Trump. Esta guerra comercial que podría frenar todos los pactos bilaterales. Pero la gran pregunta ahora es si puede realmente Estados Unidos embargar a España. Pues bien, este embargo comercial es esa sanción económica dura hacia nuestro país y básicamente significa que un país prohíbe o restringe el comercio con otro. En la práctica implicaría que empresas estadounidenses no podrían comprar productos españoles. Las empresas de Estados Unidos no podrían vender bienes o servicios a España y podrían bloquearse inversiones o transferencias financieras. Estados Unidos ha usado este tipo de medidas contra países como Cuba, Irán, Corea del Norte, Venezuela, Rusia, pero nunca contra un país de la Unión Europea. Es decir, España sería el primer país al que atacaría el presidente de Estados Unidos. ¿Pero podría Trump hacerlo legalmente? Pues en teoría sí, podría intentarlo, pero tendría que justificarlo. La ley estadounidense permite al presidente aplicar sanciones económicas, pero mediante una llamada norma de Estados Unidos que se califica como International Emergency Economic Powers, que precisamente es que le da poderes extraordinarios si existe una emergencia nacional que afecta a la seguridad del país. Es decir, Trump tendría que argumentar que la decisión de España pone en riesgo la seguridad de Estados Unidos o sus ciudadanos. Ese argumento es precisamente el que ya está planteando el secretario del Tesoro, Scott Bessent. Aún así, sería muy controvertido y probablemente recurrido, porque España, y en lo que se escuda Pedro Sánchez, es que es socio de la OTAN y un miembro de la Unión Europea, e incluso también un aliado estratégico histórico de Estados Unidos, ¿no? ¿Qué pasaría entonces si se aplicara un embargo? Pues que si Estados Unidos llega a imponer estas sanciones comerciales, habría impacto en ambas economías, en la estadounidense y en la española. En España importa más que Estados Unidos de lo que exporta. Por tanto, algunas cifras clave de las que dejaría es que España compra a Estados Unidos más de 30.000 millones de gas al año, sobre todo. También cerca del 36% del gas que consume España procede de Estados Unidos. Alrededor del 15% del petróleo también llega desde allí. Y además hay mucha inversión estadounidense en España, especialmente en el campo tecnológico y en centros de datos. Empresas como, por ejemplo, Amazon, Microsoft, ya han invertido miles de millones en el país, en España. Por eso, un embargo también afectaría a las empresas estadounidenses que ahora mismo están en España. El factor clave en todo esto es la Unión Europea, el escudo de Sánchez. Hay otro elemento importante. España no negocia sola el comercio internacional, sino dentro de la Unión Europea. ¿Qué significa eso? Que cualquier sanción a España estaría afectando al conjunto del mercado europeo. Por eso vemos a un Sánchez relajado, porque Bruselas podría responder con contramedidas comerciales. De hecho, la Comisión Europea ya ha advertido que una amenaza a un país miembro de la Unión Europea es una amenaza no solo a España, sino a toda la Unión Europea. ¿Qué dicen los expertos? Pues la mayoría de analistas creen que un embargo total es muy improbable. Lo más realista sería que Estados Unidos aplicara medidas parciales. Por eso no habla en ningún momento Donald Trump de aranceles, sino más bien de restricciones a algunas exportaciones tecnológicas, pues que a lo mejor endurezca los controles a determinados productos o incluso que imponga más presiones comerciales o aranceles. Es decir, más presión política que ruptura total del comercio, como dice Donald Trump. Aunque este mismo podría intentar justificar legalmente las sanciones contra España. Pero un embargo completo sería extremadamente inusual entre los aliados de la OTAN y los socios de la Unión Europea. Y tendría consecuencias económicas, como hemos dicho, económicas y políticas para ambos lados, tanto para España como para Estados Unidos. Hacia allí nos vamos, hacia Washington, donde está en estos momentos ya esperando y entrando el equipo de la administración del Intel de Miami y también ya con la administración Donald Trump ya sentados esperando a la llegada del presidente estadounidense Donald Trump. Vamos a conectar con Washington en estos momentos. Bueno, pues a la espera de la llegada del presidente de Estados Unidos, Donald Trump, que va a recibir también a la Major League Soccer, al Inter Miami, y que, bueno, pues también van a incluir al legendario futbolista Messi. En estos momentos que se va a reunir Donald Trump con el Inter de Miami, con el Major League Soccer. Además que también tenemos informaciones de última hora y es que Trump acaba de informar sobre el próximo líder de Irán al medio ABC. Dice que no quieren que pongan a nadie allí a menos que lo apruebe la administración, que no quieren que dentro de 10 años ningún presidente estadounidense se quede con este problema sin saber qué hacer. Trump al ABC sobre Irán dice que mucha gente ya dice que ya se acabó todo, pero para él no se ha acabado este conflicto, que se acabará cuando él quiera. El 58% de los lanzamisiles iraníes han sido retirados. Irán ha estado diezmado durante 10 años antes de poder reconstruirlo, según ha dicho el presidente de Estados Unidos, Donald Trump, que se acabará este conflicto cuando él quiera. Pues ya tenemos al presidente de Estados Unidos en estos momentos, Donald Trump, que llega y recibe al equipo Inter de Miami y que, bueno, pues también está en esos momentos ya compareciendo el presidente de Estados Unidos. Vamos a escucharle.
We got a lot of them here today, too many to introduce. A lot of them are political champions, and we don't care about them today, right? Right, Duffy? But we have, most importantly, wonderful people that love our country. And before we begin, I think I will say a few words about what's going on with respect to our operation in the country of Iran. The United States military, together with the wonderful Israeli partners, continues to totally demolish the enemy far ahead of schedule. and at levels that people have never seen before, actually. We're destroying more of Iran's missiles and drone capability every single hour, knocking them out like nobody thought was possible. As soon as they set off a missile, within 4 minutes, the launcher gets hit. They don't know what's happening. But we have the greatest military anywhere in the world. Their Navy is gone. 24 ships in 3 days. That's a lot of ships. Their anti-aircraft weapons are gone. So they have no air force. They have no air defense. All of their airplanes are gone. Their communications are gone. Missiles are gone. Launches are gone. About 60% and 64% respectively. Other than that, they're doing quite well. I said, what's left? But they're tough and they want to fight. And they're calling, they're saying, how do we make a deal? I said, you're being a little bit late. And we want to fight now more than they do. We've had 47 years, depending on the way you count it, but 47 years of horror with this group. And, you know, when you see somebody walking down the street without their legs, without the arms, whose face is so badly affected and hurt, it mostly came from 95% Soleimani and Iran. And we, other presidents, lived with it. I didn't live with it. And so our people are doing a great job. Again, the greatest military anyone's seen. Thank you. Thank you very much. And yesterday, my administration announced decisive action to help keep down the oil prices, including offering political risk insurance for tankers transiting into the Gulf, as you know, pretty dangerous territory. Further action to reduce pressure on oil is imminent, and the oil seems to have pretty much stabilized. We had it very low, but I had to take this little detour if it's okay with everybody. Scott, it's okay with you? Scott's the one who has to put up with it. He said, you have to do this now? I said, I have to do it, Scott, right? But it's been very strong, and everybody, including Scott, everybody feels we had really no choice. They were gonna hit us if we didn't hit them, because they're crazy. And in the long term, the actions we're taking will dramatically increase the stability of the region and oil prices and stock markets and everything else. You know, we set the all-time record in history with the Dow going to 50,000. So Dow was at 50,000. It was supposed to be maybe, if we were lucky, within, by the end of my presidency in 4 years. And we did it in my first year. We did the S&P 500. We did that in a period of less than a year. And that was even tougher than the Dow, they said, so it wasn't going to happen. But we have a great country. We have a country that's never done this well. We've had tremendous success in so many different ways. I built the military and rebuilt it in my first term, and we're using it more than I'd like to use it, to be honest with you. But when we used it, we found out it certainly did work. When we look at Venezuela, when we look at the first attack, Midnight Hammer in Iran, which really set the stage for what we're doing right now. It's been pretty amazing. And I'm once again calling on all members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the military and the police, to lay down their arms. They're only going to be killed. And now is the time to stand up for the Iranian people and help take back your country. You're going to have a chance after all these years to take back your country. Accept immunity. We'll give you immunity. And we'll be giving you really the right side of history, because that's what it is. So you'll be perfectly safe with total immunity, or you'll face absolutely guaranteed death. And I don't want to see that. They don't want to see it either. We also urge Iranian diplomats around the world to request asylum and to help us shape a new and better Iran with great potential. It's a country with great potential. There's much better future for Iran. It's now beginning. It's going to be, I think, a great future. And the United States will ensure that whoever leads the country next, Iran will not threaten America or its neighbors, Israel, anybody. if you look at what happened, they had missiles aimed at all of these other countries, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, many others, that weren't really involved very much, and they had missiles aimed. Well, they were aimed there long before this ever started. They were going after the entire Middle East, and then we came along. We blew up their party. So we have phenomenal people. I want to thank all of the people that have been involved. Marco, you've been doing a fantastic job. And you've been doing a fantastic job on a place called Cuba. And A-Rod came in before. I said, hey, do you want to come up to a little award? He's gone to plenty of award ceremonies. Thank you, A-Rod. Big fan. But what's happening with Cuba is amazing. And we think that we want to finish this one first, but that will be just a question of time before you and a lot of unbelievable people are going to be going back to Cuba. Hopefully not to stay. We want you back, and we don't want to lose you. We don't want to make it so nice that they stay. But some people probably do want to stay. They love Cuba so much. I hear it all the time. That was another one that wasn't.
El presidente de Estados Unidos, que lo primero de todo ha respondido, ha puesto el foco en Irán, en Oriente Medio, dice que Estados Unidos sigue atacando a Irán antes de lo previsto, que la Armada de Irán ha desaparecido por completo y que las armas antiaéreas de Irán están completamente destruidas. Las comunicaciones y los aviones de Irán también se han ido y que es gracias al fuerte ejército que tiene Estados Unidos. Además, ha dicho que Irán está llamando a la puerta para llegar a un acuerdo, a una conversación, a negociaciones, ¿no? Pero que dice Donald Trump que ya es demasiado tarde. Dice que ahora son ellos los que quieren luchar más fuerte que Irán. Además, dice Donald Trump que el petróleo parece haberse estabilizado bastante, que va a costar algo, pero que llegarán a los precios habituales, incluso por debajo de los que ya tenían. Donald Trump que pide al ejército iraní que deponga las armas y que también dice que es inminente que se tomen más medidas para reducir el precio sobre el petróleo. Además, instan a los diplomáticos iraníes de todo el mundo a que soliciten el asilo. Vamos a seguir escuchando.
Because we're honoring truly talented people. Today we're thrilled to host the 2025 MLS Cup champions, Inter Miami. Great job. And it's my distinct privilege to say what no American president has ever had the chance to say before. Welcome to the White House, Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi is, my son said, Dad, you know who's going to be there today? And I said, no, I got a lot of things going on. He said, Messi. I said, really? He's a big fan. He's a big fan of yours. He thinks you're just a great person, and I think you got to meet a little while. So he's a big soccer fan, but he's a tremendous fan of yours. And a gentleman named Ronaldo. We have Cristiano is great. You're great. Boy, some big champions, some great athletes in that sport, and people that really love what they're doing, and they're doing it well. And it's an honor for us and everybody at the White House to be honoring you today. So congratulations as well to co-owners Jorge and Jose Mas. We came from Cuba, right? Originally from Cuba. Huh? Your parents came. And you're going to go back, huh? Yeah. It's going to be, and you won't need my approval. You just fly back in when I can just see that. It's going to be a great day, right? We're going to celebrate that separately. I just want to wait a couple of weeks. I wanted to wait a couple of weeks, but we'll be together again soon, I suspect, celebrating what's going on in Cuba. They want to make a deal so badly, you have no idea. As well as head coach, who I hear is a phenomenal coach, Javier Mascherano. Where's the coach? I've heard he's a great coach. Well, anybody who wins is a good coach in my book, but I heard you're a hell of a coach. And all of the tremendous players that are just amazing. We're also grateful to be joined by the MLS Commissioner, Don Garber. Don, wherever you're, Don. Stand up, Don. Good job. Good job. As well as proud Miami sports fan, Secretary of State. I'm telling you, he's going to go down as the best Secretary of State in the country's history, Marco Rubio. I don't want him to get too popular. It's true. I don't want him to get too popular. You know, when they get too popular, all of a sudden you see, where's Marco? He's not around anymore. I don't see him. He's doing some job, and your next one is going to be, we want to do that special Cuba. He's waiting, but he says, let's get this one finished first. We could do them all at the same time, but bad things happen. If you watch countries over the years, you do them all too fast, bad things happen. We're not going to let anything bad happen to this country. Also with us, our Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's a terrific person and fan. And she's proving how tough she is.
Ojo, porque se acaba de dirigir al secretario de Estado de Estados Unidos, Marco Rubio, diciendo que Cuba también es otro de los objetivos, pero que van a ir poco a poco, país por país, que en el momento en el que se juntan dos ataques, Estados Unidos puede verse perjudicada y que Donald Trump no quiere que eso ocurra bajo ninguna circunstancia. Pero, ojo, porque ha dicho que quieren acabar con Irán primero, pero que Cuba es cuestión de tiempo. Cuba quiere cerrar un acuerdo con tanto empeño y dice Donald Trump que será el siguiente objetivo. Vamos a seguir escuchando.
And a lot of it's because of the tariffs, and a lot of it's because of everything else. We had a complicating factor with tariffs the other day with the Supreme Court. They did the wrong thing, but it didn't make any difference because we have another way of doing it. They always have to make it the hard way. Do you know about that? You always have to. Is it like that? It's always got to be the difficult way, right? Little bit. Huh? Makes you work harder, right? But we're doing great. Our country is doing incredibly well. It's never done like this. It's, I was with the King of Saudi Arabia. He said, a year and a half ago, we thought your country was dead, would never come back. And now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world, which was sort of cool. I'll relate that story. But many, many leaders say the same thing. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world. 2025 was the record-shattering season for Inter Miami beginning last summer at the historic FIFA Club World Cup, hosted for the first time right here in the USA. So exciting. I shouldn't say this because you'll say I'm old, but I watched Pelé play. He played for the Cosmos. You know that? And Steve Ross was a great friend. I don't know how many people remember Steve. He was a legendary businessman. He really started cable TV. He was way ahead of time and ultimately passed away of tragically. But he started the Cosmos team and he wanted to get some good players. So he started with Pelé. I don't know, you may be better than Pelé. Pelé was pretty good. Who's better, him or Pelé?
Messi.
I think he is. But he was pretty good, right? Pelé was pretty good. But it was very exciting. And I went to the games. I'd go every once in a while. But soccer just didn't catch on. And then when Steve got ill, it sort of went away. And then it came back. And now it's just turning out to be amazing how it's coming back in this country. But the Cosmos were a very hot team, playing with other teams that weren't so good. But I got to watch Pelé play, and he was something too. In the June group stage of that tournament, these players went toe-to-toe with some of the best teams anywhere in the world. You tied Egypt's best club, supposed to be an unbelievable, talented club, with a gutsy performance from veteran goalie Oscar Ostari, who played a great game. Then you tied the top Brazilian club, wow, thanks to a brilliant goal from one of the greatest strikers of all time, Luis Suarez. Was he? These are good-looking people. Marco, I don't like good-looking men. You don't feel so good about yourself standing up here. Good-looking people. In the 65th minute, Louis gathered the ball around midfield and turned for a vintage solo run, dribbling through the defense, driving past defenders like few people have ever seen before, cutting to his left, hammering home a goal that secured Miami's place in the next round. But no match in the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup was more important than the match against FC Porto. Porto took an early lead, but you came back strong in the 54th minute, tied 1-1. Leo lined up for one of his iconic free kicks. He struck the ball decisively, bending it over the wall and beating the keeper with a sensational left hook. Would I be able to do that if I practiced? He said, no, I think he's right, my friend. Great. In that moment, you sealed a truly historic Inter-Miami victory, becoming the first club from North America ever to beat a European club in official competition. Unbelievable. You know, I have to just interject. So over the years, I love sports, and I've watched my friend A-Rod. With George Steinbrenner, I'd sit in his box, just the two of us. He would never have anybody but me. He liked me, right? He liked me, and he liked you. He liked almost nobody. It would be a World Series when baseball was hot. It's not as hot now, I'll be honest with you. They do things wrong. But when baseball was hot as a pistol with George, and I'd sit and I'd watch the Yankees, and he'd have 30 seats, and it would just be me and him. And I said to A-Rod, would say, what was the most difficult thing you've ever done? I said, it's probably sitting for 3 hours with George Steinbrenner watching a Yankee playoff game or World Series game. You know what I mean by that. He was a difficult guy, but he was great, right? He liked me, I liked him, and we both liked nobody else. And that was a good combination. But I have to say this. So I've seen a lot of great players come into the world of sports, and they came in from all different countries, all different players. They've come in some cases just from different states. They come to the Yankees, or they come to the Dodgers, or they come to whatever. But I've seen them come in from other countries, and there's such a clamor. Oh, so great, everything's great, but they don't win. This guy won. He came in, there was tremendous fanfare, and he won. You know, right? But it's true, they don't win. They come in and, you know, they're great players, and they can even play okay, but they don't win. And Leo, you came in and you won, and that's something very hard to do, very unusual. And frankly, there's a lot more pressure put on you than anyone would know, because, you know, you're sort of expected to win, but almost nobody wins. They come in, they're great, they're the best in the world, they get paid a fortune.
Pues mientras Donald Trump habla, tenemos información de última hora, y es que el número de muertos por los ataques israelíes en el Líbano asciende a 123. El Ministerio de Salud Pública del Líbano acaba de informar que el número de muertos en los últimos intercambios de disparos entre Israel y Hezbollah ha llegado a 123, con 683 heridos desde este pasado lunes. Israel atacó los suburbios del sur de Beirut este jueves por la noche, después de haber advertido previamente a los lugareños que salven sus vidas y evacúen sus hogares inmediatamente. Ha provocado un éxodo masivo mientras la gente se apresuraba a buscar refugio. La escalada se produjo después de la ofensiva israelí-estadounidense contra Irán, que ha causado ya la muerte de más de 900 personas desde este pasado sábado, incluyendo entre ellos también altos mandos militares y el líder supremo del ayatolá Ali Khamenei. Teherán respondió atacando con drones y misiles a Israel y a los países del Golfo que albergan activos estadounidenses. Aumenta a 123 el número de víctimas en el Líbano.
Up a series of statement wins, big wins, that frankly wins that a lot of people didn't think they could do. You secured a 3-1 must-win victory over Nashville SC. You thrashed FC Cincinnati 4-0 on the road, and then you routed New York City FC 5-1, led by a hat trick from young star Tadeo Allende. Where is Tadeo? Yes, what a group of people. We could have a lot of fun with these guys. You can imagine when they win how they celebrate. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. In that MLS Cup final against the Vancouver Whitecaps, the entire team played together as one flawless unit, just flawless, they say. After Vancouver tied the game 1-1, Leo picked the pocket of a Whitecap defender and sent a pass to the great Rodrigo de Paul. Where the hell is Rodrigo? Do you have any bad-looking players? You know, I like the bad-looking guys much better. Who stuck a low-driving shot into the side net, taking the lead, and then in the sixth extra minute of stoppage time, Tadeo drove home your third and final goal, making the score 3-1 and securing your status as the first champions in club history. What an amazing accomplishment. Coach Mascherano became one of the few head coaches to win the MLS Cup finals in his very first year. And Leo claimed the 47th trophy of his storied career. 47th, can you imagine that? The most of all time. That's the most of all time. So Leo is the reigning FIFA World Cup MVP. You could have gone anywhere in the world. You could have chosen any team in the world, and you chose to go to Miami. I don't blame you. The weather's extremely good. You go to Doral. You go to Doral and play golf. And I just want to thank you for bringing us all in this ride, because you are hot and talented and a great person. I look forward to seeing many of you on the summer. We're going to be out there in the summer in 2026 FIFA World Cup. And we have a lot of interesting things, because we have the World Cup and we have the Olympics, so we have the 250. You know, I was responsible for getting the Olympics in my first term, and I was responsible for getting with Johnny. We got the World Cup, and Johnny's a good man. Do we like Johnny? I think so, right? Like you say, yeah, I think so. He's a good guy. But, you know, they're setting records on the World Cup, setting absolute total. I guess many of you guys are going to be in it, but setting records on ticket sales, right? Numbers that, I mean, literally double what anyone's ever done before. So it's good. So they picked the right. But I thought that I didn't know that I'd be the president during this, because the election was rigged and stolen, and I had to do it all again. And then I said, hey, wait a minute. I just got soccer/football, and I just got the Olympics. So we got most of what I took credit for those two. Then I tried to take credit for 250 years, and it didn't play well at all with the press. But we're going to have an amazing year. But I just want to thank you so much, Horace, for the job you've done. I've known you for a while, and I've known of you for a long period of time. You are a spectacular man, and please say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much, Mr. President. To all these distinguished guests, secretaries, so many friends and supporters. On behalf of myself, my wife Aleida, my brother Jose, and his wife Patty, and my whole family who is here today with David Beckham, I want to express to you what an extreme honor and privilege it is to be in the People's House, led by you, celebrating in the presence of champions, winners all. Because this championship was very, very well-deserved, greatly played, and you're looking at one of the best teams on the face of the earth standing behind us. And this all became possible because we dared to dream. 7 years ago, Inter Miami was nothing but an idea and a dream. I remember after talking to Commissioner Garber and being awarded a team, we sat in the conference room of our family business in Miami and said to each other, what do we do now? And as the son of a man and woman who left Cuba just seeking freedom in this great country, it has driven us to excellence. And we thought, what can we do to make a difference? What can we do that's special? And at that time, I told myself what many people thought impossible. I said, we are going to bring the world's greatest player to play at Inter Miami. And that was in 2019. And today, standing before you, you have the world's greatest player here to my right. Over the course of the last 2.5 years that he has been here, we've been on an epic run of records, of trophies, of winning. Because what I've wanted to establish with Inter Miami is a winning culture. That it be a reflection of our community of South Florida and Miami, made up of winners, of hardworking men and women, and I want our team to be an embodiment of our fan base and everyone who aspires to a better future and to a better life. On the back of our jersey, Mr. President, it says freedom to dream, because that's our family moniker and what embodies our team and our aspirations. But that all began many, many years before at the dinner table of our family with my late father, Jorge Mascanosa, and my mother, Irma, who is here today. And I speak now in tribute to our parents' generation. And I share that with Secretary Marco Rubio, of men and women who fled communism, who fled tyranny, who wanted a better life for their boys and their daughters and their sons in the future. And at that table was instilled in us that if you work hard and you sacrifice and you dream, it can be possible. And today, standing before you, Inter Miami is one of the world's biggest clubs. Most based on history, but our history has been short. But having a winning culture, having the best-selling jersey on the face of the earth, making a global difference, and not only because of Lionel Messi, but these men standing behind you have changed the culture of football in the United States of America forever. We can play with the big boys. We can be heavyweights. Our league can be one of the top leagues in the world. And it is this ability to dream, to persevere, to have no obstacles ahead of us, that we will continue to be successful. And hopefully, Mr. President, this is not our only visit here celebrating an MLS Cup championship. But this team is an embodiment of that. And I want to thank you to be able to express this to you, to so many dear friends, loved ones, and global fans all over the world. We fill stadiums everywhere. We're playing this weekend against DC United at the Raven Stadium in Baltimore, because we'll have a sellout there. We sell out everywhere we go. We open the season in the LA Coliseum.
Bueno, pues haciendo un pequeño repaso de todas las palabras que ha pronunciado el presidente de Estados Unidos, Donald Trump, lo último que dejaba entrever es que primero quieren acabar con el conflicto en Irán y que después el siguiente objetivo será Cuba. Dice que es cuestión de tiempo, que no lo quiere hacer todo a la vez, primero un país y después otro, para que no se vea afectado en ningún momento Estados Unidos, que es bajo ninguna circunstancia lo que quiere ver. También han urgido a los diplomáticos iraníes en todo el mundo a solicitar el asilo y hace un llamado a esos mismos diplomáticos iraníes para que les ayuden a formar un Irán mejor y que de esa manera no tengan que heredar un desastre en la siguiente administración que venga después de Donald Trump. Además, también ha dicho que está exhortando a las fuerzas militares de Irán que dejen las armas de inmediato. En estos momentos le están regalando una camiseta a Donald Trump. Vamos a volver con ellos y enseguida volvemos.
Made, which hopefully will have a rightful place in the Oval Office, in dedication of you, dedicated for our championship. That's for you, Mr. President. Thank you very much. Thank you. And then, most importantly, this is a very, very special limited edition Inter Miami pink Tudor watch. It's etched on the back with your name in a tribute to you, and special because time is a precious element. Time has a lot of meaning, I think, to all of us. And we wanted to gift you that. And also we have an additional gift, which is another jersey for a very luscious chief of staff. So we do have her jersey somewhere. It says number 32. But thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. And I want to just invite the team to the Oval Office, very, very special place. It's sort of the center of the world, especially now, but always it's the center of the world. We have a little present for you there. And anybody would like to come, you can just follow me on down there, okay? You'll see the Oval, and you'll have some fun. Thank you all very much.
Bueno, pues ya se dirigen el presidente de Estados Unidos y también el Inter de Miami hacia el despacho Oval después de regalarle por parte del equipo de fútbol una camiseta y un balón firmado por todos los miembros del equipo. Ahora proceden a hacerse la foto con Messi y también junto a Marco Rubio. También acaba de decir Donald Trump que pueden ir al despacho Oval con él porque es como el centro del mundo donde se han reunido numerosos líderes, donde se han llegado a muchos acuerdos, muchas negociaciones y muchas conversaciones que han surgido ahí en el despacho Oval. Dicen que tienen además un regalo preparado para cada uno de ellos, así que según terminen de hacerse esa fotografía junto a Messi, acompañaron al presidente de Estados Unidos al despacho Oval. También estamos muy pendientes de Pete Hegseth, que le tenemos ya justo cuando acaba Donald Trump, empieza Pete Hegseth, el secretario de Defensa de Estados Unidos. Vamos a escucharle.
Well, good afternoon. I'm honored to stand right here today alongside one of America's finest, Admiral Brad Cooper, commander of U.S. Central Command. We just had a chance to spend a couple of hours together, better part of 2 hours, going through the entirety of this operation, Operation Epic Fury. And Admiral, I want to thank you for everything you do and your incredible leadership, for your dynamic thinking, the way you're attacking this problem set on every level. In just days of Operation Epic Fury, you and your team have delivered nothing short of devastating, precise strikes, taking out the better part of Iran's Navy, making it combat ineffective, neutralizing missile sites and launchers, and establishing total dominance over the seas we fly over. Our forces are executing with unmatched skill, and the mission is advancing decisively. This is the kind of no-nonsense, results-driven warfighting that America demands. And you're delivering it in spades. You are the man for this moment. Admiral Cooper, on behalf of the President, the Department of War, and every American watching, I want to thank you for the outstanding job you and CENTCOM are doing. Keep pressing the fight, and we are with you all the way. A few thoughts before I hand it over to the Admiral for an update. Iran is hoping that we cannot sustain this, which is a really bad miscalculation for the IRGC in Iran. You see, there's no shortage of American will here. We remember and honor our fallen, those 6 that we will soon welcome at Dover, who gave everything for their country in this mission. We remember them. But we remember them by rededicating ourselves even more fervently to this mission. Our commitment to our mission objectives only increases as our advantages continue to increase. We've got no shortage of munitions. Our stockpiles of defensive and offensive weapons allow us to sustain this campaign as long as we need to. Again, our munition status only increases as our advantage increases. Our capabilities, we have only just begun to fight and fight decisively. Having a chance to hear from Admiral Cooper. If you think you've seen something, just wait. The amount of combat power that's still flowing, that's still coming, that will be able to project over Iran is a multiples of what it currently is right now when you add up our capabilities and those of the Israeli Defense Forces. And we have no shortage of authorities. The Admiral knows we have clear objectives with maximum authorities on the battlefield. The dumb, politically correct wars of the past were the opposite of what we're doing here. They had vague objectives with restrictive, minimalist rules of engagement. No more. Our authorities, his authorities, CENTCOM's authorities through the president and myself are maxed out. Our capabilities are overwhelming and gathering still, as are those of our Israeli partners. Our munitions are full up, and our will is ironclad, which means our timeline is ours and ours alone to control. As long as it takes to ensure the United States of America achieves these objectives. And as we flow more forces, and as we flow more capabilities, and as our munitions, as we're flying over the top, have even more devastating effects, we set the tempo, we set the timeline, led by the commander on the ground. Our ear is to the ground to listen to Admiral Cooper, what he needs, and what he needs he will get. We are built for this fight, and we are in it to win it. And we have the right commander in the lead. So I'll now hand it over to Admiral Brad Cooper to give you an update right here from CENTCOM. Admiral.
Mr. Secretary, first, thank you very much and good afternoon and welcome to U.S. Central Command Headquarters, America's War-Fighting Headquarters. It's great to be here alongside the Secretary and representing the more than 50,000 men and women in uniform currently executing Operation Epic Fury. So, Mr. Secretary, first, thank you very much for your leadership and support and the very clear vision and objectives that you've given us to allow us to use.
Bueno, pues acabamos de escuchar las primeras palabras por parte de Pete Hegseth, el secretario de Guerra de Estados Unidos. Dice que apenas han comenzado a luchar y que van a luchar con decisión, que parece que han nacido para ganar esta guerra y que así lo van a hacer. Además, dice que es un error de cálculo por parte de Irán si piensan que Estados Unidos no va a ser el gran beneficiado y el gran ganador y que si no puede sostener esa guerra, si eso es lo que piensa Irán, que están muy equivocados porque no es así, van a ganarla y es el objetivo final. Vamos a seguir escuchando al siguiente almirante Cooper, que está ahora mismo avanzando. Dice que el combate estadounidense continúa y que bueno, pues hay un centro de gravedad de Irán con el poder y el alcance es abrumador. Vamos a seguir escuchando los próximos movimientos de las 72 horas que está hablando ahora mismo el almirante.
US B-2 bombers dropped dozens of 2,000-pound penetrator bombs targeting deeply buried ballistic missile launchers. Notably, we've also struck Iran's equivalent of Space Command, which degrades their ability to threaten Americans. Then, if I just look back over the last 24 hours of the operation compared to where we were at its start, ballistic missile attacks have decreased by 90% since day one. Drone attacks have decreased by 83% since day one. Having said this, we remain vigilant. Our strikes against the Iranian Navy have intensified. You may have heard the president say just a little while ago that we have sunk or destroyed 24 ships. That was true at the moment. We're now up over 30 ships. And in just the last few hours, we hit an Iranian drone carrier ship, roughly the size of a World War II aircraft carrier. And as we speak, it's on fire. The president gave us another task: to raise or level Iran's ballistic missile industrial base. So we're not just hitting what they have, we're destroying their ability to rebuild. And so as we transition to the next phase of this operation, we will systemically dismantle Iran's missile production capability for the future, and that's absolutely in progress. This is going to take some time, but our forces are well supplied, as the Secretary said, and we are absolutely ready to prosecute this mission decisively. Our combined joint forces have relentlessly destroyed Iran's air defenses over the past few days, and they've continued hunting for more systems to kill. Our air defenders are operating at the very top of their game. I couldn't be prouder, shoulder to shoulder with our partners in the region, in many cases, providing the most integrated air defense network in Middle East history. We are fighting to win. Through combined U.S. and Israeli combat power, we will continue decimating Iran's ability to project power outside its borders. And if I can just conclude by saying a strong salute to the brave men and women who are out on the pointy edge of this, really doing exceptional work. I just couldn't be prouder, and I know the American people share in that same pride. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. And with that, we'll take a few questions. Yeah, right here.
Sir, appreciate it. Admiral, I wanted to ask, Mr. Secretary, the Ukrainian president said today that
bueno, pues el almirante Cooper, que acaba de insistir también las mismas palabras que Pete Hegseth, dice que están luchando para ganar, que no se han metido en este conflicto para no salir con la victoria y que además están muy orgullosos de cómo está luchando el ejército estadounidense. Además, dicen que ya están muy familiarizados con las capacidades iraníes y que están planificando y llevan planificando todo desde el principio y que van a seguir con el plan tal y como lo tienen establecido. Unas palabras que también ha reiterado el presidente de Estados Unidos, Donald Trump. Vamos a seguir escuchando porque están respondiendo ya a las preguntas que tiene la prensa.
Also heard reports that there's not a lot of bombing there. Is that on purpose? Do we believe there's enriched uranium there? And would we ever send special forces to secure it?
As CENTCOM pointed out, that those reports of an F-15 being shot down are false. As you can imagine, Iran is doing everything it can to peddle in lies, deception, and inflation of numbers in reality, mostly to propagandize to their own people. Right? They've shut down the internet. They're hoping they can convince their own population that they're having success. One thing one of their leaders said recently is that 500 Americans have been killed, they claim. These are lies. The lies will continue. CENTCOM will continue to debunk those lies. So, and as often is the case in conflict, first reports are often wrong. As it pertains to nuclear material and things like that, one of the objectives the president has always said is that Iran will not have a nuclear bomb, nuclear capabilities, but we would never disclose what we will or will not do inside operational plans. So Admiral Cooper's got a plan. We're working that plan, and targets will be struck or not struck according to what we want to achieve. Yeah, right there.
Secretary Hegseth, the president said earlier today in an interview that he would like to have a say in who's the next leader of Iran. Is this an expansion of your military objective? You view it that way? And additionally, you spoke earlier today about how previous leaders have drawn resources from our hemisphere to the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
How do you avoid that?
Well, there's no expansion. Ultimately, I think the president's having a heck of a say in who runs Iran, given the ongoing operation we have. So there's no expansion in our objectives. We know exactly what we're trying to achieve. I think today's a great example of what this War Department is capable of doing. I was just in another part of Florida today where we announced, America's counter cartel conference. 18 countries coming together from Central, South America, and the Caribbean, coming together to fight cartels. That is something that is ongoing. We're focused there. We're focused in the Indo-Pacific. We can mass combat power in CENTCOM. EUCOM is able to support that as well. So we know we're laser focused on our hemisphere and our homeland. That's why we locked down the border. That's why we're working with partners to take on cartels. That's why we're sinking drug boats. That's why we're on the offense there. But the beautiful things about combatant commands is that, Brad Cooper's laser focused on Central Command, just like Frank Donovan is laser focused on Southern Command. We can do both. That's what a global power can do. Ultimately, this issue of Iran's nuclear pursuit and their unwillingness through negotiations to stop it was something President Trump has said for a long time needs to be dealt with. And after 47 years, he's doing something that no other president was willing to do. And we're doing it overwhelmingly, and we're doing it decisively, while also in other parts of the globe having the desired effects. I mean, take, for example, what we displayed yesterday, the Iranian ship in the Indian Ocean, sunk by Indo-PACOM, another combatant command who coordinated with us in order to make that happen. So America's reach is global. Our focus here, though, these missions are narrow, they're scoped, and Admiral Cooper is well on his way to ensuring that we reach those objectives. Right here, yes, sir.
The Ukrainians are talking about providing low-cost interceptors.
No hay expansión de los objetivos, dice Pete Hegseth, que no amplía sus objetivos militares en Irán y que, le han preguntado sobre los comentarios de Donald Trump sobre tener voz y voto en el próximo líder iraní y de pronto, pues dice que no amplían sus objetivos, que las fuerzas estadounidenses están trabajando en equipo para poder destruir y ganar ese conflicto, esa escalada, y ahora, el comandante del Comando Central de Estados Unidos, el almirante Cooper, que está respondiendo también a los periodistas, dice que a medida que pasan a la siguiente fase de esta operación van a desmantelar la capacidad de producción de los misiles a Irán. Dice que van a derribar un dron de $50.000 y con un misil de $2 millones y que están pasando mucho tiempo, que los drones están siendo derribados y que también han atacado el equivalente iraní del comando espacial. Asegura el comandante Cooper, el almirante Cooper, que los ataques con misiles balísticos por parte de Irán han disminuido en un 90% desde el primer día.
President Trump, in his first speech after the launch of the operation at the Fury, he addressed the Iranian people and he said that there's going to be a time for you to come out, but it's not now. Stay home. It's not safe. I want to know if there is a timeline for that you're going to urge Iranian people to come out, how that is going to play out, and how are you going to protect the protesters? You know that they're going to be shot probably, as we witnessed in January. That's what happened. How are you going to protect and support the protesters? And Admiral, I have one question for you. How are you going to minimize the civilian harms? We have a lot of evidence that the Basij units, IRGC commanders, they are now gathering in schools, in hospitals, in purely residential areas because their headquarters are bombarded, they are ruined, of course. So how are you going to protect the civilians while you're attacking the IRGC people part? Thank you.
I would just say on the protests, obviously the Iranian people showed a lot of courage in those protests, and we saw the Iranian regime was revealed for what it is in the way they reacted to that. The world saw that. No one's done more than President Trump to reopen the opportunity for those who want a free Iran to do so. Ultimately, it's common sense, as he said up front. Don't go out and protest while bombs are dropping inside Tehran and elsewhere. So there will come a moment where he determines, or they determine, that it's the time to seize that advantage. But there's a lot of things we're doing and the Israeli military is doing, targeting those individuals who are targeting those who protest. The more you do that and you erode their will and you erode their capabilities, the more you create an opportunity for people to boldly stand up.
Yeah, I would just reinforce the point. We're targeting the people. We're targeting the headquarters and the people who are targeting the protesters. First and foremost, I'd also just double down on the president's comments that he previously made to the people. Stay in your homes, keep things calm. Stay out of the way. There's a lot of U.S. and Israeli capacity coming over. We're hitting a lot of targets. The best thing for them to do for right now is just to lay low.
Right here.
Secretary, one common outcome of American military action in the past has been taking in thousands of refugees into the American homeland, and I'm wondering if there's any safeguards put in place to make sure that the American people aren't having to have another wave of refugees from the Middle East or anywhere else come and stay here.
I think it's safe to say there's no plan for a wave of new Middle Eastern refugees to the United States of America. I think, as the president has pointed out for a long time, there are a lot of countries in the region who would be capable of providing that kind of support if need be, but that's certainly not something we're planning on. Yep, back there. Yep.
Yes, sir. Michael in Washington Times. I wanted to ask, I know semper gumby is always a truism in the military. Did the British decision to refuse Diego Garcia have any impact on the mission itself? Did you have to adjust, or were you able to just completely, go with the mission without any worry?
Well, as the president stated, it was unfortunate that that the Brits didn't, from day one, say, "Hey, go ahead and have access," but we got there. We got there, and that's now part of the way that we're operationalizing bomber runs. And that's part of when we say more to come, it's more fighter squadrons, it's more capabilities, it's more defensive capabilities, and it's more bomber pulses more frequently. The amount of firepower over Iran and over Tehran is about to surge dramatically. And part of it is that we're going to have even more basing. And it's not just the UK. We've had other friends step up, and we're grateful for that. Maybe one more right here.
Yeah. The Azeri president earlier today basically authorized his Minister of Defense to begin preparing troops for some type of retaliatory action after the airport strike. As the Department of War and CENTCOM is working on deconflicting with the Azeri if they were to move in or attempt something in retaliation.
I'm sure there are plans, and I'll let the Admiral speak to that. But that does allow me to kind of address this idea that the war might be expanding, or there's chaos, and nothing could be further from the
Pues
truth.
dicen que van a seguir con todos los planes preestablecidos por parte del almirante Cooper y también Pete Hegseth acaba de decir que no tiene planes para otra ola de refugiados de Oriente Medio en Estados Unidos y que tampoco están ampliando sus objetivos militares en Irán. Vamos a seguir escuchando.
Will allow you more basing and other opportunities, a lot of which we can't talk about and won't talk about, but it's actually firming up the unity of the resistance in order to focus exactly where we need to. So this idea that it's expanding or going, no, it's actually simplifying in a number of ways exactly what we need to achieve and how we'll achieve it. I don't know if you anything
I
to add to that.
I won't get out of policy ahead of policy in terms of what we might do. What I will point out is this is now the 12th country that Iran has attacked. 12 countries, and it goes right back to the Secretary's point. Those 12 countries are none too happy, and I look forward to working with all the partners who are willing to join us in this.
And I would just close by saying,
Mr. Secretary, one more question.
Sure.
What is your message to Americans who are concerned about security here at home with the change up that we're going to see at the Department of Homeland Security?
Well, I think Kristi Noem did an excellent job over there securing our border and keeping us focused on threats, and President making a change. We all serve at the pleasure of the President. I'm sure Mark Wayne Mullen will do a fantastic job. He's been a friend of mine for a long time, but Kristi did a great job setting us up for success. So I don't have any concerns about whether or not the homeland will be covered down on. And I'll just end by saying I wish every American could get a chance to see what we see. I had a chance to go into the control room, into the Tactical Operations Center, go see these young men and women that are doing this, the dedication that they show at every level, the way they've refined their craft. I'm talking to a young colonel who's iterating on how we target and how we find and fix different aspects of what the Iranians are trying to do. If they don't know what they're up against. And if they think they've got it solved for, they're wrong. And ultimately, the combination of our ingenuity, the skill, the professionalism, the discipline, and then the sheer weight of the capabilities of the U.S. military, what you're going to see may look routine. It might start to be like, oh, another boat. Oh, another launcher. Oh, another drone facility. What it takes to do this with the precision that we do is world-class. No one else can do it. And it's world-class Americans. Like the ones I saw here, like the ones that are coming home that we're going to greet home, that are the engine of what makes our country great. And so I'm so grateful for folks like those here at CENTCOM, at Central Command, who are under your command. Thank you for your decisive leadership. And all I'll say to you is what I say to them, keep going. Because the President and myself, we have your back. Thank you, Admiral. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
Thank you all.
Bueno, pues acaba de terminar ya esta comparecencia desde Florida junto al almirante Cooper y que, bueno, pues acaban de preguntar a Pete Hegseth sobre Kristi Noem. Dice que ha hecho un muy buen trabajo, que también lo hará su sucesor Murrell y que también